brings back camp memories for you or what? You got that 1,000-mile glare, baby.
Welcome back.
Yeah,
Another
you fucks.
episode. Funny but foul, coming to you live with our boy Dr. Dean.
Dr. Dean's in the house.
Mechanic Dean, you fuck. Get it right, get it tight, man. Look at that chain. It's holding on fucking the parabola of life right there, bro. All
Yeah,
the consciousness and all the fucking what?
Love.
No.
No?
No.
I don't
the
know what
conspiracies,
Oh,
motherfucker.
baby. Oh, yeah, because that's
right.
Special episode. Weird.
Special episode. We're going balls deep.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yes.
There it is.
That's right, dude. This one cuts too long, but it's okay.
Oh, there's no way to stop
Oh,
it. huh?
dude, you doubled it.
I
You
wish-
got
I
it.
wish you could
Now you
I wish you
learned.
could cut it. Here we go. There we go.
Okay.
Well, this is it, man. We've been talking about this for a while, Dean. We wanted to bring you on here and talk about some of your innate knowledge of all things varied, and specifically here with conspiracies that people know about and some that people don't. That's what I came here fucking for, man. I came here. I wanted to learn about shit that I haven't heard about.
Well, I'm hoping I can give you guys some insight
Hell yeah.
from a different angle,
Yeah.
because there's a lot of stuff that people repeat on a lot of different things that are common. The
Yeah.
common knowledge
Right.
stuff, the stuff that everybody knows.
Sure.
And then there's the truth. There's facts that are fact-checked, and that's the place we're going to go. So
And that's what we're here for, man. We're here to get into that. So, on that note, guys, just a quick note: if you're not already subscribed, please subscribe to our channel. Subscribe to our
The
Spotify.
channel's going to be right here.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah, right here
there?
where the biceps.
Sick.
Yeah.
And make sure to follow us on all platforms. We'll see. But without further ado, let's fucking get into this banger of an episode. Let's do
Dean
it.
Arena, I want to ask you one question. What's the most insane in your head, number one most fucked up conspiracy?
there's not one. There's lots.
Jesus.
Oh Christ.
The one, and it's not a conspiracy, but it's a conspiracy, and it's such multiple levels entangled that you couldn't even talk about it in one night. And that's aliens. But nobody wants to talk about aliens tonight because we'd be here for a long time.
You know why? I want to put an end to this of why we don't talk about aliens. We don't have enough proof. This is why. To me, the number one conspiracy is 9/11 because there's so many things that happened in a ladder format right after that.
Well, I tell you what. Let's talk about 9/11.
Let's talk about 9/11.
Let's talk about okay. Fuck
And
it. Let's get
sometime
9/11.
down the road,
Shoot.
maybe we'll talk about the little green guys.
Are they green though?
Some of them.
I heard they're fucking normal. I heard they're actually.
Some of them.
They look like Afghans.
There's over 80 species.
Yeah, okay.
There's over 80
you might be an
species,
alien,
they
bro.
say.
I don't know. I might be, dog.
Did you say there's 80?
They've cataloged over 80 species that they claim exist.
Okay.
I haven't,
Yeah.
but I've
80
I've read.
species of. Hold on. This is the last questions about aliens. 80 species of human look-alike aliens,
Nope.
or 80 species of all
The
different
human
kind of-
look-alike aliens you're referring to, off the top of my head, would be tall whites and would be Palladians. Those are both very human-looking, they say. Tall whites look like maybe like an inbred brother or sister, whereas they're you'd look at them.
Hit me with the weed. Let's fucking go. Let's get into this. Hit me with some of this
Right.
shit, man. I can't wait.
You'd look at them and you'd think, well, obviously you're a human. You're on the fucking bus, and you got eyes. You look just like me, but you kind of look like your parents were brother and sister, right? So like these tall whites, they got bigger eyes. Eyes are further spread apart.
That's fucking. I can't even picture that in my head. As how
Oh,
fucked up that must
man.
be.
I could see it so clearly.
I could tell you stories about a guy
In
that-
Alberta?
No, about a guy that
Probably Alberta, man. If I was an alien, yeah, I'd probably go somewhere no one would ever see me. So
Red
Alberta's
Deer.
probably up there. Manitoba too, probably. If I was an alien, I'd be fucking off in Manitoba. If I wanted to like integrate into real life society.
No, I would go to like New York or something.
Look at it
What
this
the
way.
fuck?
100 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay, 100 years ago, we were dragging shit around with a horse.
Yeah.
Okay? 100 years later, I'm going to talk to you in real time. You're going to be on the other side of the world. I'm going to look in the screen, and you're going to be there. We figured that shit out.
Okay.
Okay? Fiber optics, diodes, night vision, Kevlar. That's all alien technology, bro. Straight up.
Kevlar.
That's all
Kevlar.
alien technology. Anyways,
So you're saying luminescence is like alien technology?
Luminescence.
well, I know it's not my technology. Yeah,
So
that's
there's like
that's,
fireflies here.
That's
It's
called
same.
bioluminescence.
That's
That's
bioluminescence.
just
Sure,
naturally
sure.
occurring.
But it's just the reflection. Like if you understand, bioluminescence is so complicated. But like just the understand of like reflection, you would understand.
There's people that were talking about elements that are on the periodic table now that weren't on the periodic table 20 years ago. For example, a guy named Bob Lazar.
Most of those are
Bob
radioactive.
Lazar. Have you heard of Bob Lazar?
No,
Bob
Never?
Lazar.
no. I've heard of the name, but I don't know who this guy is.
Bob Lazar was a really smart physicist that worked for a company called AG&G and was contracted to work out of a area near Area 51. It wasn't Area 51. It was an area called S2, which was 15 kilometers away from Area 51. And it was really compartmentalized so that if you were working on a certain section of the project, in the room next to you would be somebody else working on the same project. So let's say he was working on propulsion.
Okay.
So they're doing propulsion stuff. In the next room, they might have been working on something to do with structure.
Right.
And these two guys don't talk to each other.
Yeah. Okay.
There's no communication between them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Bob thought that that was a really shitty thing as far as science goes because he said there's no sharing. You know, and that, he figured that was part of the problem. So they were reverse engineering stuff in S2. And they were working with an element called 115,
Okay.
which didn't exist and it's now on the periodic table. And that's what they use apparently as a type of fuel.
Interesting. Well, hey, listen. I think we might hit that topic. We might circle back to that topic once we're wrapped up with our main ones. But I don't think we want to tease people any longer. People have heard about 9/11. People got it on their minds. It's the most recent one in people's memories. Let's get the fuck into that. So I guess I'll say my first question before you dive in, or you can just dive in right away. Either or.
Shoot away.
Maybe start us off with the most common misconceptions. But before we get into the most common misconceptions, hit us with the most common facts that people already know. So, like, what do people think about 9/11 that is actually true? And then hit us with some shit that people think is true, but actually isn't.
I'll take it even a step further. Why do you think 9/11 happened?
To get resources from other countries and make it justified to get resources from other places.
Okay, and who gains from that?
USA, Pentagon.
Okay, so here's where we're going to start. We know that the World Trade Center has different buildings.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, two of the buildings, Tower 1, Tower 2. Both those buildings were apparently hit with airplanes and apparently fell.
Okay.
A third building, Tower 7, which was 2 city blocks away.
Should give you a heads up.
Yeah, you should have. Motherfuckers. Sorry, Dean. Continue.
So Tower 7 was 2 city blocks away,
Okay.
not hit with an
And
airplane.
what was in Tower 7?
Well, nothing that anybody was supposed to know.
Okay.
But a very important thing was
What
in Tower
did
7.
people say was in Tower 11? Like, public
Well, I'm going to tell
knowledge.
you what was in Tower 7.
No, but don't tell me what was really there. Like, public knowledge, what was supposed to be in there.
Well, it was public knowledge. But the thing
Okay.
was, it was overlooked because it's just not something that people think about.
Okay, so what was
On
it?
the 23rd floor of Tower 7 was, they have an actual name. They refer to it as the emergency.
By the way, ladies and gentlemen, our boy came with notes, so he is prepared. This ain't no
So
bullshit.
prepared.
He's got a lot up here, but he's also written it
But
down.
there's just so much.
58 years of
There's
knowing what
so
to do.
much.
Oh shit,
54.
dog. That just doesn't matter after
54.
that. Doesn't matter after that, bro. Once you forget.
So on the 23rd floor,
Talk on to the
Yeah,
mic.
on the 23rd floor, you have the New York City Office of Emergency Management, which consists of. And so basically, it's the Batcave.
Okay.
If shit goes down in any city, Vancouver's got one. Every city has.
It's like a FEMA?
Yeah, it has a place.
Or was FEMA?
It has a place to regroup, right? If there's ever an attack, if there's ever a natural disaster,
Yeah.
something of a giant magnitude that fucks everything up at a grand scale,
This sounds like FEMA.
right? So, but it's not. It's called the New York City Office of Emergency Management, and
Okay.
inside of that office is a conglomerate of organizations that work together: CIA, FBI, NSA,
Fuck, man.
Treasury Department, State Police, fire ambulance, all these emergency crews. They all work together in there.
Okay.
So now now we know what's in Tower 7.
Yeah.
Beyond that, there's a daycare center. There was, some other shit. It was a 52-floor building, I believe.
Tower 7?
Yeah, I think it was 52 floors. So we got to ask ourselves why. Where is this
Why
target?
you can't talk into the
What's
mic?
there? What's
Yeah.
there to gain? What's there to gain by this?
Right.
So here's what a lot of people.
What the fuck? Ladies and gentlemen, we got TV on for Senor. She's not interested in the programming. She's in here with us.
Listen, man, I spoil
Okay.
my kids.
Good.
So in Tower 2, there's a company called Cantor Fitzgerald.
Okay.
Okay, they are a securities company.
All right.
Okay, they
Now it's too
hold
low.
a lot of different valuable
It has to be
documents.
tilted up. Can you tilt it up? There we go.
Okay, so there was a $240 billion
Oh, yeah. That's
Russian
There we
bearer
go.
bond
All right.
Yeah.
that was being housed
Yeah.
in Cantor Fitzgerald
Okay.
in their safes. This was due for repayment on September 12th. Now, like any legal document, in order for something to be owed, paid, you need the document, right? It's like a warrant.
Yeah, but you don't need it to be physical.
Oh, you do. It's just like
No,
you
no,
need the
don't.
bond,
You don't need a physical document for
Yeah,
it
but to be served, you got to get the papers.
right? So it's like a warrant.
You
It's
can't
like-
be
it's-
served like divorce
You-
court.
you
You,
need-
can't
you
be
need-
served unless somebody serves you with the papers. That's
yeah,
a
you
fact.
can. You know why?
How?
Because COVID proved that you can.
COVID, yeah, but this is before COVID
True.
times.
True. True.
Okay, so like
Let
a
the man
warrant,
talk,
like
bro.
a warrant. You're here. Bad guys are over there. The
Yeah.
bad guys got their dope over there. We know the dope's there now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The judge is over here.
Right.
Judge says, "Here's the warrant."
Yeah.
The cop gets the warrant and says, "Fuck, I can't get over there in time.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fax this motherfucker to the cops that are over there."
Okay.
Hey, brainstorm, good idea. Boom, cop over here, got the warrant. You're under arrest. Arrest him, take all the dope, everything's good. Goes to court, judge says, what's that? That's the warrant.
Right.
The judge says, no, that's not the warrant. That's a photocopy of a warrant. Quash the warrant, not valuable. So, Tower 2, $240 billion bearer bond, housed at Cantor Fitzgerald, was supposed to be due the next day. Building destroyed. No more bond. That's $240 billion. Okay.
Jesus.
Now, that alone is enough to do anything, but it becomes a multi-level.
Yeah.
It goes multi-level after this. So it opens all kinds of doors because in order for that to happen, people on the inside are going, okay, well, Larry Silverstein, the guy that owns World Trade Center, says, hey, hang on. That's my building.
Mm.
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, you now have the world's largest in history insurance scam. A payout of $4.2 billion.
Damn, son.
That's what he got paid on his end. Now, if you want to go back now to the beginning, we could talk about the terrorists themselves. We could talk about who funded.
But is
the
there?
terrorists.
Hold on. I got a question.
Yeah.
Is there actual terrorists?
No, that was. See, there was.
Yeah.
In the Middle East.
Yeah.
You know, if you had groups like the PLO or you had, whatever that were doing their own shit.
Yeah.
In their own public markets.
Yeah.
Right. So some guy's going to make a point, straps a bomb on, runs into a public market in Jerusalem, blows himself up, kills 80 people.
That's a terrorist.
That's terrorist.
Yeah, sure.
Right.
Sure.
But
Are they
in order
affecting-
for us
Yeah. Are they
to
affecting
create
the United
fear
States? Yeah.
to the public,
Yeah.
Sure.
we create terrorists.
Oh shit.
Right. So terrorists
Drop it.
hop
on 'em.
into airplanes, steal hair. Oh, and ironically, on 9/11 that morning, the airspace in the United States was completely cleared of all their fighter jets, their squadrons that patrolled the whole continental United States. NORAD had let the FAA know that if you guys get any strange calls about planes being hijacked, planes being flown into buildings, this is all part of an exercise. Oh, okay, good to know.
Wow.
Oh, and that's documented. That's a documented fact. That's documented.
Yeah.
And then it gets even better when the whole fleet's gone and now planes are being hijacked, calls are being made, and at, I think it was 9 or 8:40 in the morning, the first tower was hit. Mohammed Atta was one of the terrorists that was on that flight. And ironically, they managed to get part of his passport was found at the base of the tower after being in a 757 that just flew through the side of a building at 500 miles an hour and completely destroyed. No DNA evidence.
Right.
But let's talk about architecture for a second now. This still won't make sense, and I'm going to tell you why it's not going to make sense. Jet fuel burns, I believe, at 1,030 degrees Celsius.
Doesn't burn that high.
Iron melts at 1,538 degrees Celsius.
Yeah,
Right.
that's not
Okay.
So far,
Fuel,
so good.
Jet fuel burns at 1,030.
It doesn't.
Okay, open burn,
What
right?
does that
So
mean?
you're about 500 degrees short of melting steel. Okay, so for one, jet fuel was never a reason for anything to fall. I'm going to take it to the next step.
I get it. Because they were saying
They were saying that the jet fuel ignited after the explosion got so hot that it melted the steel and the buildings fell.
hold on. Can you Google this? Can
I am not going to look up can jet fuel melt steel beams. That's literally a meme.
No,
can you look this up?
People
please?
have watch. I'll
No,
show you a
dude,
meme.
I'm
Can
giving you the
jet
science. Here's
fuel
the science.
No, I know.
melt
I believe it.
jet fuel can't melt steel. It's a meme. Like that's saying like those saying those words
Yeah.
together became a meme over time because people started talking about it in
Yeah,
general,
yeah, okay.
and someone decided to make a meme out of it. But
And
anyways,
in the history of steel-structured high-rise buildings,
Yeah.
in the world's history,
Yeah.
there's never, ever, ever been a building that has collapsed due to fire.
okay.
Now,
Can
in
I-
Madrid,
Can I quickly counterpoint that?
Yep.
In the history of the world, how many planes have crashed into buildings?
Not many.
doesn't matter. I'm going to
It
get to
do-
my point.
It does matter.
Well, it doesn't matter. I'm going to tell you why it doesn't matter.
Of course it
The
matters.
World Trade Center buildings were
Yeah.
designed for that reason. Because they're so tall, there's so much steel and concrete into the engineering that they are designed to be hit by a 747.
No, they're not. First of all, there's no fucking way any engineer would design
A building
specifically
to be hit
by
by
a plane.
by plane,
No
yeah.
chance.
100%.
No, there's no fucking way in any architectural firm is going to put into writing. This needs to be graded so that it's allowed to be able to hit by a
Not
plane
allowed.
fly-
Will
but
it
fly-
sustain? Will it sustain an impact?
There's no way that goes.
Okay.
that
Okay.
comes into
Hold on.
equation.
Hold on. I'll be the
Alright.
mediator here.
Go ahead.
Withstand impact, maybe. Earthquakes, maybe.
Yeah,
Sure.
that kind of
But,
stuff. Yes. Reasonable.
If he okay, hold on, Hector. If he took out airplanes and said impact, it would make sense. You'd agree with him. It's the wrong words.
To a degree.
It's
to a
wrong.
degree.
It's wrong words. But generally, he's.
But
You've got,
I
I'm
wanna
gonna
let-
tell you right now.
I want to let
NIST,
Deal. I want to let Dean finish though. So I'm going to let.
So
him keep
the
going.
guys at NIST, you and NIST is right.
no, what's NIST?
NIST is like they're the engineers that.
It's a steel institute.
Yeah, they're the people that do all the studies after crazy shit happens to do with design structures,
Okay.
right? And they got over 500 of these engineers came forward and said, nah, couldn't happen. But that being said, I'm going to give you an example. So Windsor Tower in Madrid was a 32-floor building,
Are you aware of this tower?
Nope.
okay? I think it was like 1986 or 87. It was completely engulfed in flames from the ground to the top. It burned for 26 hours, out of control. And when it was all said and done, the building was still standing. There's never been a building that has fallen from fire. And if they ever do, which it hasn't, I'd like to assume that it would go, probably fall left, fall right. Buildings don't fall into themselves.
Yeah, that's a
Buildings
demolition.
also don't fall faster than gravity. Okay? So when floors collapse, right? If a floor collapses, it's going to go boom,
Sure.
boom, boom, and it's going to all sit on top of each other and they're going to fall. But when they start to free fall, it's because there's no floor below it. There was traces
I
of
see what you're
thermite.
saying.
Do you know what thermite is?
Yeah, no thermal. Yeah.
Okay, thermite's what SEALs use, like the Navy SEAls. They use it for bridges, right?
They,
so
they
when
also use, they also use it for welding railroads.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it burns really hot, right? And it's a military grade. And there was thermite everywhere. Traces of thermite all over the bases of the building as far as where the water was. They were finding traces of thermite. Also documented that I forget which, at different times, elevator shafts in both Tower 1 and Tower 2 were all closed.
Right.
Right, giving a timeline for people to go in and set up stuff. Now, Tower 7 that went down, it went down, it was like 8 hours later, like 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and it had a mild fire, I think between like the 6th and the 10th floor on the northwestern side of the building.
So what you're saying is basically it was explosives.
100% it was.
Yeah. So it's that. I think just the fact, a couple things you said reminded me of some points I had. One, if I could, piggyback this shit, it's building doesn't just randomly fall like straight down, straight across. Like I've seen multiple building demolitions, and that's how they fall. They fall down because you're trying to protect the building across, beside, behind, whatever it could be. But it doesn't fall one way or the other. Like if it's a crash and impact, you would imagine if you got a straight building, you got an impact like this, it's gonna fall backwards with the impact. Generally, it's not gonna fall straight down.
Well, I seen some footage through different angles that was caught by somebody else that caught it and said, "Look at this again slowly."
Can we take a look at some footage of this 9/11?
And there's angles where you can see it where it shows the wing.
Yeah.
But there's buildings in front, and all of a sudden this plane flies, but the wing goes through a building that's in front of the building before it hits the other building. Point I'm getting at is that there very big possibility that nothing was hit with airplanes. Okay? There wasn't airplanes. Planes left. Planes flew off in the morning whenever they were supposed to, and possibly were shot down. And cruise missiles were used. I know the Pentagon was guaranteed a cruise missile, 100%, because there was no plane wreckage. In Somerset, Pennsylvania, on the crash scene, there was no wreckage.
Yeah.
Like none. Look at the pictures of that. Go find Somerset, Pennsylvania.
I want the.
Do you have any idea? You'd have to see a blueprint of the building to appreciate how much steel and how big the steel is inside of that building.
Look at the size of that thing, dude. It's just pure concrete.
Concrete and steel, baby.
That's insane. I imagined it back in the day. Like my memory of this is that it's a lot of glass.
There is a lot of glass there. It's hard to see, but there is. It's like, but it's not like the modern buildings where it's full glass. I know what you're thinking. Yeah, you're thinking like glass all around,
like the
Metro-
Rogers building.
or
stuff.
like
Yeah,
Metrotown Towers or whatever.
Yeah.
Where's this?
No, these buildings, these are designed different. These were designed with.
Oh, it's common, baby.
These buildings are designed with plane strike in the planning, and I'm going to tell you that.
Damn it, baby.
I was in the NWT then. I was doing a water and sewer job. And all of a sudden, we're all called into the boss's office. Everybody's standing in his office watching little TV in his office. 77, right? That's the one that hit the Pentagon?
Yeah.
Had 58 passengers and some crew, so there's 64 people on the plane.
Yeah.
It's a 757-223, right, which is 155 feet long, 125 feet wide wingspan, and 44 feet tall. Okay? Snap yourself a picture of the Pentagon when you get a chance of the damage.
Much footage of the actual.
Now, somehow, that little fire at the top of the building was enough to bring 110 floors down.
What,
at
you
the
mean
speed
this?
of gravity. To drop the building this way. Now, that possibly could have convinced me,
Hey, go,
if the
go.
plane hit the bottom.
I want to see the building go down.
There it is.
Oh, damn.
That's a second strike.
That was a second.
Yeah, that's pretty massive, dude. Let's not lie here. Let's not lie to ourselves. That was fucking massive.
Hell yeah, it was. Okay.
Second one was more massive than the first,
I want to
honestly.
see the towers fall, don't you?
I want to see towers fall.
Yeah, you're a fucking savage.
This is the thing. I don't cringe on this stuff.
Boom, look at that.
Here we go.
That doesn't look real, dude.
Come on.
That doesn't make sense.
That's what happens when a plane hits a fucking...
But that doesn't make sense.
one of the
Hector.
strongest engineered buildings ever built.
Does that make sense to you, bro?
What does sense mean to you? Sense to me and sense to you are two very
Okay,
different
sure.
things.
But this is.
I know
this
it
is what
doesn't
I
make
mean.
sense to
Because
you, and I know what sense means to you.
we come from two different backgrounds, right? So
Yeah, but your engineering background is going to tell you the same thing. You're going to look at that, and you're not going to tell me for 1 second that you believe that that's
Yeah,
natural.
you can't
of course
say that.
tell you for
that's-
1 second. Like, of course I can, man.
Yeah, but that's a lying second, bro.
No, it isn't, man. Because then what? Are you gonna go through the? How long are you gonna sit down with me so I can explain science to you for, right? Like real
enough.
science, not
You
just
can't.
not
Enough.
just not just
I'll
reading,
wait right now.
not just
Let's do
reading
it
an
right now.
article. Like,
Sure.
you
I got
actually
an
do,
engineering
like-
background, too.
Sure.
Do you? What do you got?
I studied. I went to date for architecture. I did the first 2
That's
years.
not
of it.
we don't consider those engineers.
No, I know, but we still do. So I know. Well, you got a degree. I didn't get a degree.
Yeah.
Right?
Hold
but-
on, you didn't get a degree. Lying,
No.
you lying fuck.
But no, I'm saying we don't consider the architect. Yeah, I still got.
No, we
Architecture, you don't.
Yeah, architecture we don't.
Not an engineer.
No, I don't.
You don't think so?
Nope.
Well, architects are
They're
the
not.
ones that
First
Hold
of all,
on,
design
is
first of all, they're not.
software an engineer?
Some people say that it is, but if you look at
What do you consider an engineer?
if you're trying to get registered as an engineer,
Sure.
architects don't get it. Geologists will get it actually. Geologists and engineers are under the same
Architects
umbrella.
can get it though.
No, they don't. Not engineer. They're not. They don't have it.
Really?
It's not an engineering degree.
Oh, okay,
It's not
interesting.
right because
Yeah, makes sense. It's a lot of
architecture is
drafting.
design. It's
Yeah.
design is what it is.
Yeah, makes sense.
But they eventually
It's
like
not math and physics.
they
could
do
be
take
physics.
some. They do take
it
some,
it
but
could be
Dude,
physics.
I spent 2 years in school doing more fucking math and more fucking physics
then
than
who?
you could shake a stick at the technologist level,
Yeah, me too.
right? The guys that do all the grunt work.
Sure.
you
Yeah.
guys are in the same. It's
that-
not. We're not here to compete.
That's me. Yeah.
No.
yeah.
All I'm saying is
You're
this: I'm down to listen to the science.
Yeah,
Bring on
sure.
the science. Let's hear it.
Okay, so when you talk about
Give me the short
struct-
version though, please.
see, that's what I'm talking about. We
No,
don't-
but give
we
me
don't
the
have
shorter version.
No, because you don't have the time to go through
Okay,
it with
fine,
me,
but you
right?
can't. You can't.
I
Just
can
give
give you
a
a short version
conversation.
that you can't justify with all the science in the world.
Okay, there
See,
you go. Can you?
I can't go against someone who says that, right?
You
It's-
can't
it's
because
over.
you can't because I can guarantee
I
you
can't.
you couldn't counter it.
No, because I
Here,
can't
pass,
go
hold on,
against
pass,
somebody
pass.
who already has that mindset. There's no
No,
for
it's
me.
not a mindset. I got the same mindset as you.
For me,
Believe
for
Talking
me,
to the
there's
I'm
mic.
into the
Talking to the
facts.
mic.
I'm
what I
into the
mean is,
facts,
like,
bro.
You're so in it. There's no way that I could possibly even
You
if-
couldn't.
even if I was right. There's no way you would listen. So
You couldn't because
So I'm
I
not-
also agree with the 500 other engineers that said the same thing.
yeah, except there's also a lot of engineers on the other side that do agree that it did happen this way. So
That's hard. Yeah, that's what I.
you know what I mean?
understand
Like,
that,
so
yeah.
we're not going to get into specifics. We're here to give Dean a voice. We're here to be good hosts, and
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
here to let him present his facts and his. And
Well, they're
his-
not
you
my
have to-
facts.
and his
Hector,
knowledge.
They're not
Hector,
my
if
facts. These
you-
are facts that have already been
You
presented.
have to listen. If you're gonna say if you're gonna is that yours or mine?
It's
No,
probably,
that's his.
it's probably
Email.
yours or Dean's.
Hector, if you're gonna dispute somebody's facts, you gotta say a defense.
Thing is, they're
Can't
not my
just-
facts.
You can't just be like, because those are your firm beliefs.
No, but
I
what I-
understand
what
where
I-
you're
you know what
coming
I'm
from, but
saying?
you
So,
have
like,
to
Listen,
also
yeah,
still.
yeah, but I'm willing to do it. So I've been listening to this the whole time, and I'm willing to stay here the whole night
Yeah,
to
no,
listen
no.
to it, right? But I can't start presenting an argument knowing that it's futile.
But you
and
got
pointless.
me though. You got me. I'll
I got
listen
you.
to what
Okay,
I'm
so
saying.
here
I'm the moderator.
I'll give it to you.
No, no.
Okay, so let's
Hold on.
begin.
Let him say it. Go ahead.
No one actually mentions that jet fuel is going to melt steel beams. Everybody knows that the actual here's the second thing. You don't need to melt steel in order to weaken it.
Sure.
It doesn't even need like guys when you know what a blacksmith is?
Yeah.
When the guys are blacksmithing, when they put the metal in the forge, they're not melting steel so that they can form it. They only have to get it red hot, and that temperature is not as hot as you would think. It's
No, actually, blacksmiths are usually they're folding it to make it stronger.
eventually over time. But what I'm saying, when they're forming it, they don't have to melt the steel to be able to bend it. That's what I mean by weaken it. I
Yeah,
mean
yeah.
weaken it as if you have a steel rod and you try and bend it, it's not going to bend.
He's
You put it-
saying
No, I agree.
to do it.
100%.
You don't have to
100%. I agree with
liquefy
that.
it.
That's what I'm saying. You don't
Right.
need to actually
Sure.
liquefy
But
it
here's
to
where
manipulate.
that kills
Here we
your
go.
story,
I'll
though.
rephrase what I said. You don't need to melt steel in order to manipulate it.
100%.
Sure.
There we
100%.
go.
You know.
Okay.
Sure.
So with that in mind, when people who argue to the idea that this thing happened without any kind of mysterious intervention, people aren't saying that the incident started melting the steel beams. What people start arguing is that it wasn't just the steel that was being heated. It was the fact that you had a significant impact. You're talking about a plane that was probably flying around 400 to 500 kilometers an hour. It wasn't at its cruising speed, so maybe let's say 300.
No, 400 to 500. You're right.
You got a huge mass of steel, plastic, fuel, everything. So you're talking about a huge momentum. You got mass and velocity hitting that
Absolutely.
tower. So you got a few things going on. One, you got the ignition of the fuel that's heating up your entire crash site or whatever.
Yeah.
The other
And
thing,
as you're talking,
Yeah.
I'm going to demonstrate what
Go,
you're saying.
sure.
So right now, here's your fire.
Yeah.
Go on.
the other thing that you're doing is you have significantly, and I mean very
Damage the structure.
significantly, damaged the structure.
100%. I agree.
You have physically deformed the steel.
100%.
You have physically deformed or broken the concrete beams that are in there, all those supporting structures at your crash site.
100%.
So when you do that, when you've already damaged the integrity of a building,
Yeah.
you are now not only messing with what I just said, the integrity, but with the geometry of the building.
100%.
So now whatever design that you had for your building, where you said, I'm designing this building to be 40, 50, 60 floors tall, but in order for that to happen, all of these pieces need to be arranged in a certain way. The moment you start messing with the arrangement of those pieces, you start damaging the structural integrity of the building.
100%.
Couple that to the fact that you had it happen not over time, as most buildings do. Most buildings start to lean. Most buildings start having issues over time because, things move. You had it as a violent impact like that, coupled with the heat of the blast and the explosion. You create an environment that is extremely dangerous to be in.
Would definitely not pass inspection.
Yeah, right. And extremely prone to collapse.
100%. Now I'm going to kill your story.
That's the argument.
This is where your theory gets killed.
Sure.
Here's the impact. Here's the fire.
Yeah.
Structure's damaged. 100%. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Your theory would work if the plane hit here. If the plane hit the bottom 20 floors, then you've got 50, 60 trillion tons of steel and cement, like a tree. When you chop it down, that is going to force it to fall. But when you hit it at the 100th floor, and you only got 110 floors,
well, there's quite more than that. If you look at that, you got a significant tip.
You don't got nothing there.
That right there, that's like the tip of my penis compared to like my whole penis. You know what I mean?
Okay. Now watch it fall.
Pretty small penis.
Now,
there.
if this was damaged, so if this structure was damaged and it collapsed, it'd be collapsing here. The break would be down here. We don't see it, and it would start to popping out here where it's damaged. But it's not. Floors are disappearing just below the impact site. They're literally popping windows out. And when you measure the time frame from where it starts to where it stops, right? And you measure it against the speed of gravity, right? 9.82 meters per second squared. You know that number.
I do know that number.
Okay? So when you do that, the math don't fit.
Also, you got to realize that's not a speed, that's not a velocity, that's an acceleration.
That's right.
So you can technically actually exceed the speed of gravity. So your statement earlier was actually incorrect. You can.
End of the day, that's not what happened. And if you believe that's fine.
That is an interesting, the one thing that out of all the stuff that we've been talking about, the interesting one that I haven't heard till now was the speed of the fall. That's one that I haven't heard.
Oh, yeah.
I'll be interested in that. I'll be looking at that later because that's one that I haven't heard up until now.
That was one of the biggest
everything else I've heard, and I'm like, all right, guys, like let's
That's what I mean. A lot of it's been out there for a long time.
Let's not pretend like, fucking launching a fucking flying airplane to a building's not going to damage to the point where shit's going to fall.
Let's make it even better. Why
that's an
building
one.
7 fall?
Hold on.
Let's talk about Tower 7's a good one.
Hold on.
Tower 7's a really good one.
I want to just take a fucking break. So
get in there.
We talked about motive. We talked about the present crash.
Yeah.
I want to take a different aspect to this. Close this and look up a demolition of a building.
Let's see.
Just go to TubeView.
Abandoned building demo.
This is not good.
And while you're doing that, I'm going to spit some crazy facts. I'll throw some other crazy facts out at you. So we know that September 12th, every commercial flight in the world was grounded.
Another good point. A very good point.
Right, everything was grounded, right? Nothing moved. Right? You remember that?
Yeah.
Okay. But there was a flight that moved.
Hold on. Let's look at this.
Okay, fine.
Let's take a look at this. Quick little.
Check it out, Doc. Yeah, it's happening soon.
Okay. So we got a building here.
It's in Lisbon.
All right. Okay. Falls
into its own footprint.
All right.
So perfect demolition.
Okay. So I have a point to make here.
Go ahead.
And I want both of you guys to listen. I don't want you guys to cut me off.
Probably will.
So what I see here is they've calculated what the weight of the building is and put the explosive exactly where it needs to be.
100%.
Now, what I think, I'm not saying you're wrong. There could be a combination of two ideas that makes a neutral idea. And I think if I had to bet on it, I would say there is some explosives in the building, in the towers.
The fireman said it too.
Just because of the way it looked very similar. The bottom of that building that just got demoed looks kind of like every floor of the tower. Because if you look at every floor, that same thing happens, right? The escape of the gas, the explosiveness, right? The powder, it goes every floor, down, exactly the same. So, I mean, I get it that, you don't have to melt steel to manipulate it. I understand. However, having it go down that exact way is interesting, to say the least.
And that's why they
seems
claim
very
that
calculated, to say the
Sure.
least.
elevator banks, they claim in both towers, were closed for months, where you couldn't access those elevators, and they would open back up later, and different elevators would be closed. And they figured later that maybe that's where whoever was setting the charges.
That's a reach, though, Dean. That's a reach because of this. It's maybe, but like,
well, if you're going to agree,
maybe God exists too.
If you're going to agree,
like, fucking Jesus.
if you're going to agree that they fell because it was manipulated, right? That someone set charges.
Yeah, but
now, and you're in the World Trade Center,
elevators to put in fucking explosives, bro. I don't know.
Dude, they just flew they just flew airplanes into the buildings.
Who knows? Let's move on. Now,
what about Tower 7s?
Let's go to Tower
7.
Seven.
Hit me with that. Tower 7, because that shit's a fucking.
Give me the short version of Tower 7.
Short version of Tower 7. 8 hours and 20 minutes later, at 5:06, I think, in the afternoon, Tower 7 collapsed. It was 2 square city blocks away to the northwest of Tower 2.
Yeah.
And it fell into its own footprint from a 4-floor fire on the northwest side of the building that was not accelerated by anything except some debris that might have been flying around that caught fire.
Damn.
How far was Tower 7 from
2 blocks.
From everything? 2 blocks.
Two city blocks.
Right, Jesus.
Hey, Hector.
Yeah, what's up?
Can you do a quick little Instagram post with us on this shit through Funny Buffalo or no?
Like I have no internet.
Oh, dude, that's
sorry, bro.
All right. What do you think? Now that we know about Tower 7, what do you think how it affected it? Like, what were the exact?
Yeah, what were the outcomes of this whole thing?
Yeah.
From what people, I mean, there's the
now
obvious,
this is where it's a multi-level thing.
Yeah, here we go. Right, because I as a nobody, I'm like, oh great, so we started the war on terror, then we started like a whole 15-year, 20-year charade. Yeah. That's as far as my knowledge goes in terms of the outcomes of this.
Okay.
But
so once again, somewhere, a little think tank was created because somebody obviously approached Larry and said, Larry, building's got to go down, and I need access to certain areas of the building to make this happen. He's going to say, get fucked.
Yeah, okay.
You're not wrecking my fucking building. And he's going to say, Larry, you're not listening to me. If your building had a natural disaster, Larry, you're going to get quite a few $1 billion in insurance pay.
It's good tea.
Right? And so now, ironically, the morning that the buildings went down, Larry wasn't there.
Yeah.
He's there every morning. Every morning he's in the same spot on the 110th floor restaurant.
Yeah.
With his family, but not that morning.
Right.
That morning Larry was late. So there's an insurance scam. There's the Russian bearer bonds that are now non-negotiable, non-recoverable.
What does that mean? Do you know anything about the sector?
Nope. All ears.
Yeah, no, so like I said, I didn't know nothing about it. It was just something I came across in some reading, and then I came across it again a different time in a completely different thing I was reading. It wasn't even about the same thing, but it was brought up for a moment. And just for that moment, it was enough to me to go, hey, wait a second. That could be something because that's a lot of money.
Right.
$240 billion. And and it's housed. It's like this. Another good example. Another theory, but it's a true story.
Okay.
Whether it's why it happened. So, in 1912, the Titanic sank.
Okay.
Right? On its maiden voyage. You're laughing, motherfucker, and you're going to piss me off here. So, one of the passengers, okay, you know what the Federal Reserve is, right?
Yes.
Okay, so before the Federal Reserve was built, they were trying to get, J.P. Morgan was trying to get another guy on board.
Okay.
Okay, and I'm trying to remember his name. He was richer than J.P. Morgan and all the rest of the boys that were in the Federal Reserve. He was like the counter vote, and he wasn't for. He didn't like the idea of the Federal Reserve. We thought it's a bad idea, actually. And the other guys are like, well, wrong answer, right? We were kind of counting on, in their little private meeting, I'm assuming it went something like, well, fuck, we needed Billy on board, but Billy's not on board.
Yeah.
Oh, Billy's going on this big boat for a trip there. Next thing you know, Titanic ironically goes down for whatever reason. Sure. That's another theory that I've heard. So the point I'm getting at is the people are willing to sacrifice shit.
Yeah, right.
At the cost of whatever. It doesn't matter. Because if there's a job that needs to be acquired or something needs to be done that's valuable enough.
I think, I've never been foreign to the idea that if there's enough people wanting something, they'll eventually do it, regardless of what's...
So I think that's the biggest point you've made, Dean, that is the most recognizable by logic. It's like, yes, if there's enough cause, that they can do that. Do I believe in all the science
so
that
let's
you
take-
guys? Hold on.
Yeah.
Do I believe in all the science you guys are saying, whether it's your side or your side, about the degrees of melting and blah 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 blah? Maybe partially.
Yeah, but
yes.
you don't need to. You
But
just gotta look at
the
history.
logic of the fact that a government can
It's not the government, though. That's just it.
Hold on, a
group.
entity
Yeah.
can persuade people to think a certain way for being able to attack or get or gather or steal merchandise or a certain riches from another country, or reasoning and justify it. I 100% believe that they are capable of doing that, and that does make sense.
And so now, person A that owes money to person B that don't got 240 billion approaches person C, who's the guy that owns the building, and says, listen, we can pay you for this because I can't pay this. And either way, something's going to go down. Mm-hmm. So either your building's going down with your permission and your help, or the bill, you know what I mean? There was some kind of meeting that must have took place. So that being said, that opened a whole bunch of other doors, right? And that's where you get into Pakistan getting involved, the ICI being involved, like that. Muhammad Atta, the one terrorist.
Who's ICI?
ICI is that's Pakistani intelligence.
Okay.
They got a general there. What the fuck was his name?
Oh yeah, hit me with the
General Muhammad.
dropping
something.
names like dropping bombs.
Yes, sir. Dropping names like dropping bombs.
But hold on, let me give you guys one thing. This guy, he's all against it because you know why? Because he's a fucking American, bro. He's a fucking American. That's why he's all, oh no, yeah, that's not true. Not my America. Not
Who's
this,
that?
bro.
What are you
Not
talking
that.
about, man? Do you hear yourself speak when you open your mouth?
Bro, always.
Or-
You don't see yourself speak
or-
because of that big ass mustache.
or
Doesn't
do-
let you fucking see your mouth.
Do your ears close when your mouth opens, maybe?
No, but because I don't have a big ass nose like you, I can actually see my lips.
Dude, this nose can lead a country.
Yeah, it could also lead
could-
your
I could-
chin to my balls.
I could run for
Okay,
office.
so
on
I was
this premise.
talking earlier about how they were trying to investigate terrorism, and they had these guys on the little radar watch scene, but they weren't considered too dangerous because they weren't moving big amounts of money.
Yeah.
They were constantly using cell phone cards and pay phones, and it was too hard to track. They didn't have any information. Well, they forgot to mention that Pakistani, the ISI director, whose name is Mahmoud Ahmed,
Okay.
wired $100,000 on August 16th, 2001 to Muhammad Atta. The wire transfer was handled by Check, the man who kidnapped and murdered Daniel Perel. That's the guy, the Wall Street guy that got his head cut off.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about?
No.
This is so in depth, bro. We don't know
Okay, you
what
don't
the
know about that?
fuck is going.
You don't know what the big thing there is?
this
This
guy's-
Daniel Perel made a cartoon.
Hold on,
Daniel
hold on.
Perel?
Talk into the mic so we can search.
I
this
think
up.
Daniel Perel made a cartoon about something to do, and it was
Perel,
the
not
other
Carl.
side. They're the Muslim side of the brown
You
side.
mean the comic about Muhammad?
Yeah, something like that. Then he ended up getting his head cut off.
Oh, you're talking about Charlie Hebdo.
No, Daniel Perel.
Daniel Perel?
Yeah, put the name
last
Daniel
name?
Perel.
What's the last
He
name?
was a Wall Street reporter. He was investigating the ties between ISI and Islamic militants.
Oh,
And then that same general, he was scheduled to meet
hold
with...
on. Let's
About
do
this,
one
don't worry,
point.
don't worry. Who's this guy? Daniel Perel? You gotta give me more. How do you spell his last name?
I wrote it down as...
P.A.
Yeah, I don't think it was Pearled. I think it was... Reporter, yeah, go there. Wait a second. Just go Daniel Perel murder.
Daniel Pearl?
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
this
there
is
you
it.
go.
Pakistan right there.
This guy.
Oh
okay.
shit.
Yeah, there we go. Daniel
He
Pearl.
got-
Okay.
Perel? So what?
That guy's head was cut off.
In
The
Pakistan.
guy that cut his head off is the guy that handled the money transfer that was sent from that ISI director to Muhammad Atta, the guy that was the terrorist whose ID they found on the ground coincidentally at the base of World Trade Center 2.
Yep.
The CIA director... and
This is scary how this checks out. You need to shut the fuck up.
No, I don't. Say what the fuck I
General
want.
Mahmoud was also scheduled to meet with Dick Hartman, State Department,
Dick Hartman.
Senator Bob Fram, CIA Director Porter Bass. the
Hey,
morning of
talking to them.
9/11.
Talking to the mic.
You got
please.
everybody to hear this.
Jesus
Not
Christ,
just us.
dude. I could say this. Mechanic Dean just dropped some shit on us, and we're looking this up on Wikipedia, and this
So far, so good.
so far so good. Like, this is Alex Jones mini, guys. Listen,
Hell
if
yeah,
Alex Jones had a little better looking brother, it'd be fucking Dean the Mechanic right here. Jesus Christ.
Also, the morning of the attacks, normally NORAD would escort any plane considered to be a threat, a hijacked plane or a plane about to crash.
Yep.
You'd have a fighter jet on each side of you, saying, "Listen, you're not responding.
Yep.
We're gonna help. We're gonna help you down. And if there is a crash, they're there to identify where the crash happened, so they can work out search and rescue after." Right. However, ironically, the FAA was informed by NORAD that any distress calls involving hijacked planes being crashed into buildings was a military exercise and to be ignored. Also, coincidentally, the Air Defense Squadron.
You did mention this part, yeah.
It was. They routed 2 flights.
Right.
They had 2 jets that they flew out of somewhere else, and then by the time those got there, it was too late. First building was hit, and then they tried to get 3 more flights out of fucking where's the CIA headquarters? Langley. Out of Langley, Virginia, and somehow they were given the wrong directions, and they flew out to sea. So you had 2 fighter jets protecting the continental United States, while 4 airplanes were being hijacked. Now, you want to look at something that's interesting. Go to Somerset, Pennsylvania, crash scene.
Search this up.
So that would be flight number 93.
Search that shit up, Jamie.
Flight 93 crash scene, I believe.
Getting too high, bud. Christ.
Flight 93?
Yeah. Look at the...
I got it, hold on.
Talking to the mic, Dean.
Yeah,
You're going to have... There should be a picture of the crash scene. Look at the tree line.
Yeah.
Okay, I want you
Right
to
here?
go road.
Right here?
Okay. I want you to describe to me the little black spot in the center, which would be the impact. You know, right where your cursor... Right there.
Here, yeah.
That's pretty much your impact.
Yeah.
Okay. How big is that area? I guess.
That looks like
25
Look
feet.
at the side. Look at the height of the
25
trees.
feet. Yeah, no, I'm using the cars that are here on the side.
25 feet.
Yeah, let's say 25 feet right here. That line's 25
Yeah.
feet.
Okay.
That's a 150-foot airplane, 184 feet long by 150 feet wide by 40 feet tall, flying at 500 miles an hour.
Talking to the mic.
Yeah, hit me with that.
Hit me
Right,
with the
so-
stats, but talking to the mic.
No, so like I'm saying, it's almost 200 feet long, 150 feet wide, 40 feet tall, moving 500 miles an hour, hits the dirt. Where's the
Damn.
plane?
Well, it wasn't 500, but I see what you're
Hold
saying.
on. Let's.
Because this one was the one that was brought down, right? Like
Well, that's the word.
passengers
It's-
overtook
that's the
or
word on the
whatever, like, they
street,
brought
yeah.
it down. Whatever speed you're going at is not the speed you're actually going to unless they just straight up.
Better
like,
yet,
max
if it was
speed
going slower, there should be an airplane there somewhere, along with about 6,000 pounds of DNA, if you assumed each person weighed 100 pounds.
Yeah, right.
But there was no DNA, no recoverable jet, no recoverable black box.
For Flight 93?
Yeah.
You should, really?
Yeah, well, they're going to show you a little picture of this and that.
I didn't realize there was a conspiracy around Flight 93.
Oh, the whole day was a conspiracy, bro.
I thought that was just like that one was like
The whole day was a conspiracy. The best one is the Pentagon. Wait till we get there.
Yeah, that one's pretty interesting.
Now, I want you to go to any other airplane crash. Just pick an airplane crash
I did.
and look at the damage.
There's like a few here. Some are like more chilled out
Prolific
than
than others.
Yeah, like
Yeah, but the ones that are more prolific got planes involved in them.
Some of them get like pieced to bits before
Sure,
they
but
crash.
there's still.
There's pieces of airplanes there, right?
No, but then the ones that don't, the ones that are intact, it's hard. I can't pick one. These are going through like a bunch.
But, I mean, there's still enough evidence in any other plane crash you're looking at. You're finding a plane. You're finding a bigger damaged area.
Wait,
Right.
hold on. Can
You're
you
finding a
look
black
up-
box.
Can you look up the crash on this?
No, there's no video of it. This is in nowhere, Virginia.
No, I understand, but is there no picture of the plane?
No, there's no plane. That's my point.
There's debris.
That picture we just looked at, that black spot, where the cars were involved.
Talking to the mic.
That picture we were looking at with the black spot
Yeah,
and
yeah.
the cars, that's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
crash scene.
No, I'm saying, like, where's the actual.
That's my point.
Yeah, but what are these they're showing? A piece of.
No, these are other crash scenes he's looking at that show pieces of debris.
Is this other crash scene or is this the
no,
same one?
supposedly it's of Flight 93.
This is supposedly a Flight 93.
There's one right here. This is supposedly a piece of Flight 93.
But, like,
Oh,
where
there it
is
is.
this? Hold on. My question is this. Okay, let's say that this is true, that these are pictures of it. Where do you see this on the top?
Well, because that would probably fit in the back of somebody's pickup truck there before they got her down, so you could race out there and toss her into the bush somewhere and say, "Oh, there's the plane." You've seen the impact on the ground of the area that they said was where the plane crashed. There's no plane, And all I'm saying is take an area like that and go to another plane crash anywhere in the world.
Crash on the ground at a 45-degree angle. Where's the whole plane?
Okay,
That's
so
my
what's
point.
the quote unquote real story? What do we got?
That plane was shot down. It was shot down by fighter jets. That's my guess. They took it down. This is all a big hustle, dude. This is like one of the biggest hustles in the world.
Sure.
You just killed 3,000 Americans. You jacked $240 billion. You started a war on terror, right? And you did it right under everybody's noses, right? And put the biggest insurance scam in the world on it and then refused to get, you know that all the steel, when the building came down, there was all a pile of rubble. You know none of that was investigated, right?
What do you mean?
So FEMA and NIST and these companies get together, and when there's something like that happens, they take samples.
Right.
And they're looking at the burns on it. They're looking at the structural damage. They're looking at what happened to this piece, what happened to this piece.
Yeah.
No, you know what happened? Oh, China gave us a great deal on steel.
Right.
So we're just trucking this shit out. None of it was tested.
Interesting.
It was all shipped to China and smeltered. Look at the Pentagon. Look at the damage on the front of the Pentagon, and I'm going to tell you about that. And then there's footage you can watch that I'll get you to watch after. See, apparently none of the cameras were working on the Pentagon that day. So we didn't catch the plane coming through. But they fucked up.
But they saw the...
They fucked up at the gas station across the street. The gas station across the street had cameras.
Interesting. Okay, so that's a supposed
Okay,
crash.
so there's your impact.
Yeah, okay.
Now, if you follow it through the building,
Yeah.
I've seen pictures of the back of the building. At the back of the building, so at the front, you've got a hole probably 20 to 40 feet wide.
Yeah.
Right? That might be 20 to 40 feet tall. That cuts straight through the building. And I've seen a picture from a different somewhere of the back.
Yeah,
and at the back, it's like a 4-foot hole. Just a black burned, round looking.
Yeah.
Like a round looking hole.
This is a 20-foot cube,
Now-
Dean, right here. This is all 20. That piece right there,
Yeah.
that's a 20-foot cube, bro.
Okay, so that being said, the airplane hit it right there in the front. Now, you see the block to the left?
Right here?
No, go down to the front of the building.
Oh, yeah.
No,
That would have been wing. It's
Yeah, he's
150
saying it'd be
feet.
wing.
So if the front of the airplane hit there, you've got 75 feet on each side of that should be fucking destroyed, which aren't. Okay? There's no airplane in that one either. There's a couple
These are
pieces.
nice. Some of these are really nice photos.
Right? There's the back. That's that back hole.
Yeah, that's what you're
That's the
talking
back
about.
of the Pentagon.
Where's the plane, bro?
There's no fucking plane. Somehow they're going to get some pieces here and there once again that are there, and they got some witnesses that say, yeah, the plane came here, it hit some light poles, it did this and that. But they got no video of that. But
No, fuck the video. I want pieces of the plane, bro.
Well, there's an engine, but I think there's a Rolls-Royce engine or something out there, but it was the wrong model plane.
Interesting.
It was from a different, just a quick cover-up. Nobody's going to ask any questions. We'll just throw this engine here and do whatever.
That guy that fucked that up woke up dead.
Where's that footage? You talking about?
You should be able to find it. Anyway, just put in Pentagon crash, and there used to be footage that you could watch from the gas station, and it happens fast. So it happened so fast that the plane was at 7,000 feet. It was like a 260-degree turn, which is like, you're talking about guys that don't know how to fucking fly.
You're talking to the
You're
mic.
talking guys like that really don't know how to fly an
You
airplane.
know what you don't know how to do? Talking to the mic.
And, is that it right there? Yeah,
Yeah,
there you
yeah.
go.
It's like frame by frame footage because it
No,
happens.
watch
super
quickly.
quick.
Look, see it? You see right across the ground, right above the ground?
Yeah. That's kind of sus.
That's a cruise missile. Right there. There it is. That's not a plane.
Yeah.
That's a Tomahawk, man.
I mean, this is a potato footage fucking video, but yeah, looks pretty sus.
Yeah, but that's the
Hold
only
on,
footage.
do it one more time.
Do it to me one
So what they're
more
trying to
time.
claim is that the airplane
Your
flew
brain
from
is cream
7.
pie, huh? Bro, that looks like a fucking, I don't know.
That's 3 feet
Very
off the
suspect.
dude. That's 3 feet off the ground. At about 600 miles an hour in that frame.
Yeah, but you're trying to die, though, son. There's also that. You don't, there's things you're going to do.
No, there's
Normal
things.
person's
If
gonna be like,
you're
yo,
evil
fuck.
fucking Knievel, the guy that flies commercial jetliners from 7,000 feet, does a 260-degree turn, and then levels her out at 500 miles an hour, 3 feet off the ground across a field before parking it through the front door of the Pentagon, where they just so happen to be investigating $6
Right.
trillion missing.
Yeah.
But also, I got to say, Mahmoud from fucking Afghanistan or where the fuck. Pakistan or Iran or where the fuck he's from. The guy that they're saying did this, like guys like that, they're not fearful. Like you think like Evil Knievel is like not fearful.
No,
but,
you're
like,
not
these
getting my
guys
point. You're
wake
not
up
missing.
with,
I know they're not fearful. They're fearless.
Yeah.
But they're not talented enough to take a fucking commercial jetliner from 7,000 feet flying the opposite direction under control and do a 260-degree turn and bring this big motherfucker down without stalling it and flying at 500 miles an hour,
But that's not
3
what,
feet
that's
off
not
the
what
ground.
a hijacker does. A hijacker's not actually piloting the plane.
Yeah.
They're telling the fucking pilots to do whatever the fuck they want to do. That's what a hijacker does.
The odds of a commercial pilot being able to take a plane like that and do that turn and then level it out 3 feet off the ground and hold it there and then fly it through. Coincidentally, Donald Rumsfeld's office that was doing literally, they just fucking fixed that part of the building, and they were just investigating like $6 trillion in black budget money that was missing.
Yeah.
And it just so happened that's where they crashed. But there's no plane. You just
So
watch
hold
the
on,
footage.
Can we find out if that's the part of the building that crashed?
What do you mean? This is the building.
No, I know, but he's saying
Yeah.
is it Donald
Check that. Yeah,
Rumsfeld
you'll find
or
that.
whatever?
Oh,
find
yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
you can
that's
find
a
that.
good
I
thing.
gotcha.
But yeah, that's pretty interesting. If it, I mean, the video's suspect, but again,
There's
it's
nothing
frame by
suspect
frame.
about it.
It's
There's
frame
not a
by
740.
frame.
That's not a commercial jetliner. Even if you catch a glimpse for 1 second, that thing's like this tall in the frame. A commercial jetliner would be like 5 times that thing in height.
What do you think about that, Hector?
Oh, what? Sorry, I was reading.
He's
So
saying
in
the
that
width.
frame by frame, when you see that thing
Yeah,
fly
no,
through
no,
the frame,
no. What I mean by suspect, I mean like I'm going like, what the fuck? Because yeah, it's like perfect level to the ground. That's how the fuck.
and then you look at the back of the building. What's at the very back of the building? A little black burnt hole. What part of the airplane that doesn't exist because we don't see it? And on that flight was 64 people that just spattered through the fucking Pentagon,
But
right?
if you burn a wall, like if you torch a wall, it'll like if I torch right here with a tiger torch, it's gonna burn in a circle on the other side.
Perfect. There was 6,400 pounds of DNA, at least, on that plane, but there was none at the crash scene.
But burnage,
You get something. You get something somewhere.
I don't know about
You
that.
get a fucking driver's license on the fucking sidewalk. You gonna tell me you're not gonna get a piece of DNA?
I don't know.
They didn't cover their tracks. You know why? Because this kind of hustle don't happen every day. It's not a planned hustle. It's not something that's going to be perfect. But they don't expect people to be sharp and people to question things. They expect you to do what they've been doing to us for years. Fucking lying. Propaganda.
I could see that.
Oh, yeah, brother.
I could see that.
They did it.
I'm trying to look at this, Dean, as a neutral third
No, I
party
get that.
and look at it like as logically as I can.
And then you got to
I can-
ask yourself cause and effect. And you got to ask yourself who stands to gain,
Exactly.
who stands to lose.
Or did it say a possibility? And I think they have the efficiency or the product from if we actually. The best way of knowing that this was actually done because they want to invade these other places and
Well, that's
justify
just
it.
part of the hustle. That works.
Yeah, for
that
sure.
fits.
yeah.
It'd be best if we have actual transaction records of the United States, but
Yeah.
it's so hard to get these kind of things out.
Here's
there,
a weird one. So Bin Laden was the bad guy, right?
Okay.
They believe he was the head of Al Qaeda. Al Qaeda planned all this, correct? That was
sort of, yeah. I actually found out really quickly that was all kind of bullshit.
100% it was because he would have admitted it. He would have been proud to say, "Fuck yeah, woo,
Yeah,
one for me."
yeah,
he
yeah.
never admitted it. He denied it. But better yet, if they believe that, one, the FBI poster that said wanted
Yeah.
for it was wanted for the USS Cole, 18 people that got killed by a little boat they pulled up beside him, blew a hole in the side of the ship.
Right.
Right? That's what he was wanted by the FBI for. He wasn't wanted for 9/11. That's one thing. The second thing was, if I want you're Bin Laden,
Yeah.
and you've disappeared, and I want you. I need to talk to you. Where's the first place I'm going to go? Your family.
Sure.
I'm going to your parents, your brother, your sister, your friends.
Yeah.
And because it's a terrorist thing, you know what I'm doing, right? I'm arresting everybody. I'm taking you to a bad fucking place. And before the night's out, I'm going to fucking know where you are. And if I don't, then you don't know. But I guarantee you, I'm going to fucking ask every question every wrong way
Yeah.
to get the information I need. You're either going to lie to me because I've tortured you too badly to make
Right.
some shit up. Coincidentally, on September 12th, the day after, every flight, commercial flight in the world was grounded,
Yeah.
except in Boston. In Boston, a flight left. Flew from Boston to Saudi. And on that flight was Bin Laden's sister and Bin Laden's brother. Big concern by the Bush family that because they're his brother and sister, that they're bad people. And the Bush family is very close to the Bin Laden family. The Bush family owns a company called Arbusto Fuel or Arbusto Oil. It's an oil company.
Right.
Arbusto Oil has fucking sunk about 20 fucking times. Now, George Bush's best friend is Major. I used to know the name off the top of my head. I have to look it up. He's the Bin Laden money man in the States.
Yeah.
He looks after the Bin Laden Corporation investments in the U.S. This guy, he's put the Bushes up. When the Bushes go to Saudi, like they're friends,
Yeah. Okay.
right? So they got the brother and sister out when you would normally be going, where's your brother?
Yeah. Sure.
You know, we're taking you to the
Yeah.
dark room. You don't fly people out of the country and you get a pass. That's not how it works. There's too many little, and it's the little things that people overlook. They just assume that, oh, that's not, I would do that. But that's not what you would do. That's not how you do things. Right? That's unacceptable. Absolutely unacceptable. If I thought you're the bad guy and I got information that I believe said you did it, sorry, bro. Your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister, your grandma, every motherfucker in your family that I even think for a second might have any idea where you are, is going to be having a conversation with me. And it's not going to be the best conversation.
That's
You're
why
not
white
gonna,
people are scary, bro. I rest my case. That's why white people are scary, bro.
Yeah. Right.
But I know, but that's the shit that happens,
For sure.
right? But not that case. In that case, they flew his family out. Yeah, it's a pretty mind-boggling whole. Like I said, 9/11. Like my dad too. He's like, no, there's no way they couldn't have planned it. And I said, well, you know what? They did. It was planned. It took some while for the planning. A lot of people were involved. It was a multi-level thing that bonused different people for different reasons that weren't even connected to each other.
Right.
Right. You know, it's going to work for you, so it got us into Iraq, back into Afghanistan. It got the war machine funded. It created terrorism, so it gave us something to fight this war against Al Qaeda, which really didn't even exist, like ISIS. I could show you videos of ISIS with American guns. You know, the guys in the trenches and ISIS shooting, and it's got like a U.S. Army on the side. Like,
Yeah.
You know, who's funding you guys? You know, and it's the same old story. Every war that's ever been fought, pretty much in the history of time, has been funded by the same people, and those people fund both sides. They fund both sides of every war. That war's already been fought in a room like this. Little think tank guys sit down and they spend months or years calculating and figuring out the damage levels, and then they say, okay, let's do it. And then the war goes and everybody dies and the money gets spent and it works out exactly like they're planned on paper. Just like COVID. And you know what the hustle was that started COVID? And this is my theory.
Yeah.
And I believe this, but who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. Epstein. And you're like, huh? But I believe that COVID was going to happen regardless. But the timing was right.
Right.
Because Epstein was connected to a lot of very important people
Yep.
that could not speak. I don't believe Epstein is dead. I believe that if I was prosecuting Epstein, the first thing I'd say is, this motherfucker's not going to get to court.
Yeah.
You're going to fucking kill him. How do I protect him? I'll kill him myself.
Sure.
So you don't kill him. You say he's killed. You stage a scene. You give him witness protection. Well, they can't do that. Sure they can. They did it to Sammy Gravano when he brought down John Gotti.
Right.
Gravano admitted killing 26 fucking people. Openly admitted it.
What happened to Gotti?
Gotti went to jail.
Okay.
He died of cancer in jail. Gravano got a pass. Got busted in Arizona fucking selling ecstasy. Right? Point being is that deals can be made. So I'm thinking if I was a prosecutor, that's what I do. You know what we just found out? And I don't know if it's being talked about at any big levels yet, but I read something that turns out Epstein was working for the FBI since 2008.
Check that, Jamie, please. That's a fucking legit one.
Yeah. Supposed to be a fucking...
Not yet on the mainstream.
Yeah, no, I was watching a podcast that's something like this, you know, whatever. But these guys are a little more knowledgeable than me, I guess, whatever. And they were saying, yeah,
FBI seized computers. Okay.
Yeah, apparently he was. Right there, informant is part of a sweetheart plea. But this is 2008, and they said, well, that gives them a carte blanche. What does that do to the FBI? So since 2008, the FBI knows that all these elites have been raping kids, and it's okay. See, word is he had pinhole cameras in every room. So all these guests that were there,
yeah.
all these guests that were the Clintons, Obama.
That one's actually pretty fucked up. That one, out of all
Let's go into that.
the conspiracies. Oh, I thought he didn't want to get into it.
Yeah, let's just go into it,
Yeah. Out of all the conspiracies that are interesting, because a lot of them are kind of just like people don't care because they're like done, and I guess for a lot of people who think about these mainstream ones like your 9/11s and your Russian spy, all that stuff, people are like, like what the fuck? Because maybe people just don't care about the outcome.
They don't. Yeah, you're right.
But the Epstein one is interesting because a lot of people, it's still really fresh in people's minds where they think that, and I actually think so too, that it could go deeper than whatever it's.
Well, here's why it's the biggest thing.
Whatever it already is.
This is why, as far as I'm concerned, next to aliens themselves showing up.
Yeah, sure.
The biggest thing is that because he's got royalty, presidents, the heads of world corporations, the people that run this fucking planet.
Yeah.
He's got them doing dirty shit with kids on video.
Yeah.
And that can't happen because
do we have any evidence of this video at all?
No.
Well, we don't.
If there was, the world would collapse.
Yeah.
That's why, and it'll probably never be seen.
Yeah.
Right. So somebody's making calls somewhere, saying, "Okay, what do we do? How do we deal with this?"
Yeah.
And you can't because that is such a bad fucking hustle that you can't deal with that. So what do? You distract it. How do you distract it? Well, we got this fucking flu we were going to introduce. That was going to happen regardless. We weren't planning on doing it for another 2 years, but fuck it. Let's roll.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, COVID-19's here. I got a copy of an email.
Hold on.
No, I just think it's a distraction.
Yeah, sure. I'm not even going to talk about that.
What am I holding on?
I'm just going to give you guys a glimpse to some black pill shit right here. So
how many fucking colored pills are there, man? You got blue ones,
there's
red
blue,
ones.
red, and black. Black is just depression.
All right, hit me with it.
Black is depression with the red pill.
All right.
Just the fact that who we are
I thought I was looking something else up.
as people,
Mm-hmm.
and the fact that we don't even know who controls the world and who's pulling these strings is just shows you how small and useless we are.
Actually, we're not. Your brother Alex Jones.
Your brother Alex Jones.
Yeah, your brother.
Your
man.
brother. Alex
My brother
Jones.
Alex Jones. There, he actually got these guys on film. Eh? You ever seen him invade Bohemian Grove?
Yeah, that one's really old.
It's old, but it's beautiful.
Grove, yeah.
I've
It's
never
beautiful.
seen this.
You've never heard about it? Do you know the premise of Bohemian Grove?
I've heard about it, but I've never seen
There's
it.
video footage. There's a few videos of people
Hey,
who
bro,
actually, he's not the only one
can you
who've done
chill
it.
out on opening all these tabs, bro?
Relax, that's how I work. Fuck off. There's video footage. Not just Alex Jones, not the first one I've tried, because it's Bohemian Grove is well known enough that more than a few reporters have tried to find out like the truth about it. So the idea is that they're gonna try and capture them doing weird shit, but all the videos that I've seen of Bohemian Grove are like them doing like their what I think is like their hokey bullshit and not the actual like whatever conspiracies take place during the Bohemian Grove. No one actually has video footage of it. They have video footage of like the wacky plays going on, like they're putting on costumes and doing weird fucking like pagan rituals. That's all a fucking like
Sure, but
that's all
there?
that's all just a circus. No, big name guys. They're talking like prominent business leaders, politicians, like
Do we know anybody in
Clinton, Bush.
particular?
Yeah, like a lot of big
Clintons, the
names.
Bushes.
And that's not a big deal because at the end of the day, all the video footage shows what? A couple of fucking old men dancing around in like bird outfits. But the real shit is what never's been actually videoed. It's like, okay, once all the song and games, a song and dances
the
are
burning
done,
of the effigy and all
once
that
they're
weird
done,
shit.
once they're done all that shit, and once they're actually talking about real shit, that's like the real conspiracy. Because if you could ever get recorded footage of what those guys were actually fucking saying in private conversations at this camp, holy fuck. Because the whole like the rituals, the dance, like whatever, they're just a couple old guys being weird. Who cares? They're not actually saying anything that matters.
I don't want to. I want to just gloss over that glizzy like that, bro.
Well, of course, because it doesn't. If
You
you
like
record
the-
it, yeah, they're dancing in bird costumes, fine, that's done. But what
Why?
if they actually? No, hold on. What if they actually said nothing? But if after that's done,
I understand your point.
then the real conversation about like, okay, hey, listen,
I get that.
I'm, like as Dean said, $100 billion in
Yeah.
debt next year, and then I really need it. It would be really beneficial for me if this country goes under, and if their oil price starts tanking, and if this, and if that, and then if the guys goes, yeah, you know what? Also, my wife got footage of me, blasting some little kid, like whatever, the other day, and I really need this to go away.
Jesus.
That stuff. That's when, if you could ever get recorded footage of that, that would be like, that'd blow this whole thing out of the fucking water. Because all they really have is just the weird like rituals and stuff, which is like.
So
whatever,
my point
man.
being, though, is that the thing with Epstein, I honestly, as far as when you really think about the nature of what it's about, right, and the evidence that he claims to have,
Yeah.
right, what's bigger?
Yeah, I feel like that's real. I feel like that's actually a really good theory.
And what do you do to, like, when Hillary Clinton had the email thing going on, and there was 35,000 emails
Sure.
that she had deleted, and they were talking about the
Yeah,
fact she had a
didn't delete it,
private
just-
private
yeah,
server in her home
servers.
that she was fucking receiving, top secret emails across, right? That's what's that called there when you're against the government there? That's the worst crime ever. What?
Treason.
Yeah,
Treason.
treason.
Yo,
Right.
speaking of treason, what the fuck? I'm hoping you, as a red-pilled conservative such as yourself, what can you tell me about the January 7 riots?
Nothing.
God damn it, man. There's nothing cool there.
No, I don't even follow that shit. It doesn't even interest me because to
Damn.
me that's just all salt and pepper, fucking snowflake, fucking bullshit.
Damn it.
It's true.
Right. I got no time for. I personally don't got no. I think it's childish. I think it's stupid.
That's what
I
we're
think
supposed to,
it's
like, juicy
not
shit.
necessary.
No.
Like they went to find somebody in their office and then deleted some documents, had to do with some bullshit. But damn it, that's boring.
No, I know that when this all went down, see, Tom Hanks is another one, and I'm going to tell you this. I'll say it. Go on his Instagram. Follow people that follow Tom Hanks and look at some of the comments on his Instagram.
Okay.
Tom Hanks is labeled as a major pedo.
Tom Hanks.
Bro, and I hate to say it because I
Don't
love
ruin-
Forrest Gump.
Yeah, don't.
I'm not
Forrest.
trying to do it. I'm not trying to
Damn,
kill Tom.
bro.
I'm not, straight up. I wouldn't even say
How
this.
has he not been outed yet?
Shout out
Well,
to Tom Hanks.
word is that he got COVID for a while. When this
Yeah, I
Epstein
heard about
thing
it.
blew out and COVID came in,
He's
he
one
was
of
in
the first.
Australia.
He's one of the first to get
Yeah,
COVID.
in Australia, locked in a room, wouldn't come out. Well, apparently during that period of time, there was warrants issued. Not just for him. There was I seen a list of names. Him, Oprah, Ellen. There was like a ton of these fucking names. Oh, once again, it could have been a bullshit list.
Yeah.
But I didn't know was he sent the message on Instagram. And I wouldn't have recognized it as nothing because I'm not a fucking weirdo.
Yeah.
But people inside the weirdo world caught the code. And in the message, it was just him having breakfast, sitting at the table, and it was a picture of a plate with a coffee cup. The coffee cup was sat like that on the plate, and there was a little teddy bear on it. And in the that was kind of like a distress call, warning kind of thing.
Bro. Every single one, this motherfucker.
What?
Trying to
Dude.
look over it.
No, like, dude, it's like what you're saying is insanely, not that it's accurate or not, but it happened. Like it's been
Dude,
reported on.
dude, I'm real deal, bro. I mean, I don't make this shit up.
I haven't found the teddy bear one yet, so
Yeah, it's on Instagram. You'll find it.
Go
It's
to,
saying now. They're
go
one
to
of the
lo-
guys.
go to
this is even
images.
crazier.
he probably took it down.
One
I'll find
of
it.
the guys.
Actually, no, I can't.
Listen to this. One of the guys that was onto him
Yeah.
being a fucking weirdo
Yeah, yeah.
harassed him for a long time
Okay.
and harassed him publicly on Instagram.
But my question is,
Check this out.
after
one time.
everybody,
phone?
Hang on. Let me finish.
uh,
Let me finish.
sure.
Open your.
All of a sudden, this guy's body, the guy that was harassing him, his body was found in the middle of the fucking desert, someplace that had an actual address area.
Yeah,
A crossing, a street and a number, or whatever, in the middle of fucking bumfuck nowhere.
yeah.
Tom Hanks' Instagram that morning said, roadkill at, and he gave an address
Yeah.
at this and this. And the roadkill was the guy that was harassing him about being a pedo. Another story I heard when Tom Hanks had one of his houses built, there was a kid that was doing security at the construction site.
Yeah.
And was there the whole time. And finally, the house was being opened. But he said he remembered at one point, yeah, Tom Hanks, he's got a bunker in his house because he remembers a crane lowering a big, heavy door
Yeah.
down into the basement. And he thought, holy fuck, that's fucking cool. It must be like a bomb bunker or something. Didn't think nothing of it. House gets built, and he throws a warming party
Yeah.
and invites a bunch of his Hollywood friends. And the security guys are still the same, and they're still working there. And at around 9 o'clock that night, a black van
I just shared my password with you.
rolls up to the property. And out of the black van,
Do it again. Yeah. Okay.
out of this black van, a bunch of teenagers, like 16 to 10
Yeah.
kids, get out of the van and are brought inside the party. Don't know. I never made the story.
Where
That's
was
just
this? Is this in the
okay.
States?
So this
or
this
in,
this is
what
yeah. It was in the States.
Australia.
No, this was in the States.
Okay.
This is just a different time. Tom Hanks had a house built.
Yeah, yeah,
and,
no, I heard
the
all
guy
that.
followed all that.
I was just trying to figure out if it was in the States or
No,
in
it was in the U.S.
Jesus.
One of his properties. Yeah, and I don't even like saying that because I'm a fucking Tom Hanks fan.
I'm a huge Tom Hanks
Huge.
fan. Goddamn.
But
no, my question was going to be, how has Tom Hanks not been properly outed when so many other Hollywood actors have been in this whole like Me Too
that's
era?
the difference.
What kind of leverage does Tom Hanks have that other celebrities have not had to protect themselves?
Laying in that coffin and jerking off with that fucking baby in your hand, being a weirdo.
What?
Yeah, like there's Satan. Hey, straight up.
No, I mean like if
straight up.
If
You know Bohemian Grove, right?
No, I understand, but I'm saying if guys like Kevin Spacey got outed and canceled.
Not heavy enough, not big enough, not powerful enough. You're
No,
a
but that's
bum.
what I mean. What kind of pull?
Because he's
Tom Hanks
probably-
is still an actor. He's not
Yeah,
special.
but he's probably
not a
satanic. He's probably in there with the rest of these guys at a different
Okay,
level.
well that's not something that we can't quantify. Which
No,
kinda
I can't
sucks, 'cause
quantify
I was
that.
hoping for
100% I
something
can't.
like-
But I'm going to make an assumption
Yeah,
that when
see,
when you reach, they say that's the difference between millionaire and billionaire,
sure,
right? Is that taking that extra step
yeah,
to be a little weirder than the next. It's like there's a video you can watch of what's his name coming into this little black comedian, the funny guy.
Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart walks into a hotel room. Who's in a hotel room? P. Diddy and
P Diddy.
P. Diddy and
Notorious.
Beyonce's husband. What's his name?
Jay-Z.
Jay-Z. So he walks in with his crew, and it's all being videotaped.
yeah.
And it's just a hotel room, and it's got a bed in the hotel room. And P. Diddy's in there, and Jay-Z's in there, and they're sitting down there talking.
Yeah.
And Kevin Hart walks in all laughing, and he just stops in his tracks. He's like, whoa. Dude, I don't know what you guys are doing in here. But
Yeah.
And they shoot to the bed, and on the bed is a fucking dildo. And it's just P. Diddy and Jay-Z in the room before.
When was this?
It used to be on YouTube. I seen the video. You could get it on YouTube.
Dude, look at this. Check this, Jamie, please. This is some insane shit,
Where's
dude.
like the
What's that?
What would you search?
no, hold on. Where's that right wing streaming site? We need some like more conspiracy shit. It's the what's the one the guys started using, like the QAnon guys for streaming?
My old lady's freaking out.
Right.
You got to bounce?
Yeah, pretty quick here, yeah.
Yeah, let's wrap it up pretty quick.
Hold
Let's
on,
look at this.
I'll
and
look
then-
up. Yeah, streaming site.
But I mean, I'm down for this, guys. I love it. I could talk to you guys for hours, man.
Dude,
What
and,
they turn
and,
into.
and dude, we
And
could
I'm-
talk
and
to you
I'm-
for
and I'm
hours.
talking good shit, man.
No, it's 100%. Honestly, I'll give you a fucking fist bump. It's all been, honestly, we've looked it up and step by step. I haven't gone through every single thing, but a lot of stuff has been true, which is like
Well,
fucking surprising.
I mean, it's out there. That's what I tell people. I say, you don't have to believe me, bro. I said, just go look. You know, there's information out there, but you got to look. And you'll jump into one rabbit hole, jump into another, and throw away the bad, keep the good.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna look this up. This Jay-Z and P Diddy.
Yeah, go Kevin Hart, hotel room, P. Diddy, Jay-Z. Something like that.
All right, we'll do it like this.
Dude, don't worry. I'm going to cut some of this out.
Don't
Like,
worry,
don't
yeah,
worry. Take your time. Like,
Game
me
Mafia.
getting excited, screaming over here, not talking into the mic.
bro, every time you get a sound, I'm like, yo, bro, that sounds great. But you know what sounds better? If you talk into the mic.
Is this the one? Is that
No.
the dildo behind him?
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, this might be it
Did
actually.
Kevin Hart walks in?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Usher's there though. The
Well,
fuck?
maybe it's Usher. I forget who the fuck it was.
Usher,
it was-
Usher and P Diddy.
Oh, maybe not.
So Jay-Z's fine. All right, thank God. I can still listen to his music.
Okay. Whoa.
Right there.
Don't be homophobic.
There's a vibrator right there.
Oh, my God, bro.
No cap.
Dude. Dean Areno is fucking
I mean,
for
he
real.
got the Jay-Z part wrong. Thank God he
Doesn't
did.
matter
That would-
though.
I don't
It
listen to
was
that. That would've fucked me up.
Usher. It was Usher.
Usher.
All right, boys, I got a dip.
All right.
All right. Well, thank you. Hold on. Let's
hold
give you a
on.
proper thanks. Thank you,
Thank
Dean.
you.
Yeah, thank you, man. This was fucking
You give us a
solid.
lot. We got a lot of fucking content to go through. I'm
Yeah,
lot
she
of
was
glad
a little
we got
off
it
the
out.
wall at some point
No, that's
there.
good, man. Armand's a wizard. We're gonna arrange it in a way that makes sense and that we enjoy. And we just want to thank you again for
Dude,
fucking
yeah. 100%.
showing up.
Awesome.
100%,
Yeah, I enjoyed
man.
it. It was cool. You guys
Just
are cool.
The fight
Every time
was
it's
awesome.
Bro, it was solid. The fight was
This one,
good.
this one as well. So
This one was good too. Just make sure you follow us
yeah,
everywhere.
Check us out.
Funny But Foul podcast on Instagram. Funny But Foul everywhere else. And yeah, man. Just want to remind Jamie. No, I should say Hector.
Hector.
Oof. This is so soft.
Soft just for you.
Oof.
So you like it?
Get me going. The night cruise with the boys.
My legs are fucking up.
We are out of here.